So it can be confirmed. To you, my YAHWEH'S, to you, he always kept me whole. And left my enemies deep in their holes. Let none that wait on Yahweh be ashamed. Put shame on those who sin without a cause. Show me your ways, please teach me your laws. Oh Elohim of my salvation, I'm staying down and patient. As a child, all the while I'm waiting. Remember not the sins of my youth. Lead me in your truth, and he'll give your soul ease. The Heirship, the secret of YAHWEH, who fears Elohim, a fool believes everything. And to every word spoken, you can't take heed unless you hear somebody curse. You know you did the same thing. That's why I'm begging y'all for mercy and His love and kindness, cause I know that I ain't worthy.
The seven seas, captivity is taking hold upon me from fallen leaves. The grinding grief from all the blood, how people sing. And now we cry, where is the word from Elohim? And so we said that we are His wives, to be submissive, but we dismissed it. It is of this reason we have fallen victim to the lies that your root will prey and pursue. Rebellious of His son, forgotten that He is one. Broke's rejection of reproof, then acknowledge what we do. Now we return back to the truth.
Yah's word is the truth. Yah's decrees is the proof. Local 12 just released the scoop. It's the summer of Sam. They calling His hand. Made us worship the Son of Man. And somehow that the moon, they stole our style and gave it to Rothschild. Now we exalt the vow, but hit the turnstile. Yah's Nabi set the crooked things straight. Praise Yah from the rising to the evening to the closing the gates. Exposing the fake. Yah give the truth a daybreak. Now the liars can't escape and the haters can't relate to the light that truth make. See the wicked's pride deflate. Ye adore Yah, magnify Yah, cause He's great.
All Yah give is truth. All Yah teach is truth. All Yah bring is truth. Nothing but the 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 truth.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. For Yahweh is righteous, Yahweh is holy, and let Yahweh be magnified. Shalom, shalom. I am Moreh Naphtali, here with you once again, bringing you nothing but the truth. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and it's most definitely a pleasure to stand before you once again, indulging in this great sacrifice of righteousness, even the sacrifice of the knowledge of Elohim. I praise the mighty Yahweh for this opportunity and blessing to stand this evening, indulging in His truth and His word, and I praise Yahweh for all those indulging with me. And yes, this truly and surely is a great sacrifice. There's nothing at this hour that we could be doing more important than indulging in these words of Yahweh. For Yahweh said, blessed is he that choose the things that please Him. And this is very pleasing to the Almighty, This is ways to get on Yahweh's good side, to make this particular kind of sacrifice before Yahweh. Particular kind of sacrifice before Yahweh. And so for those of you that love the word, I praise Yahweh that you're blessed this night. For his truth, Vine Street will continue to unfold and come before you. For Yahweh has raised up his servants to bring you his word, to bring you this spiritual food, this spiritual water, so you can be fed and so you can drink and nourish yourself from the inner part of yourself. So hallelujah, we have a great program prepared for you this evening. We're going to deal with the verse that you will read in the book of Psalms, the 86th chapter. And this verse is in the 16th verse. But I'm going to start reading at the 15th verse. It reads, "But thou, O Yahweh, art a Elohim, full of compassion, gracious, long-suffering, and plenteous in mercy and truth." And this is something you never want to forget about the Almighty Yah. This is why I love my Yah. And this is why the Almighty, at the end of the day, they love him. No matter all the trials and tribulations throughout the day, no matter how much it rains, no matter how dark it gets, no matter how hot it gets, no matter how cold it gets, at the end of the day, Yahweh is full of compassion. He's gracious, plenteous, in mercy and truth. And if you know anything about the name of the Almighty, these words that I just spoke defines his name. This is what he wants you to know about his name. It says, "O turn unto me, and have mercy upon me, strength unto thy servant." We need strength from the Almighty. And this is his strength. This is how he will give you his strength, by giving you his word. And if you want his strength, you should want to receive his words. You should want to draw yourself near unto his words and be concerned about his words. Ask yourself, do you know the everlasting covenants by heart? Do you know the 10 Commandments by heart? Do you know the feast days? Do you know, is the word of Yahweh in your heart? Look what it says. Not only he says, "Give thy strength unto thy servant," he says, "and save the son of thy." And this is very interesting to me, because he called himself, he says, "Save thy servant. For I am your servant, Yah. But I'm not just your servant. I'm going to establish it. I'm going to go even further to say, I'm the son of your handmaid." And who is Yahweh's handmaid? Is he speaking metaphorically? What does this man mean of thine handmaid? And if he's speaking directly, who is Yahweh's handmaid? Look what it says in the book of Exodus, the 23rd chapter. And yes, what I found when I began to seek why this brother went further to say he's the, and I went to seek to see who is Yahweh's handmaid. Who is Yahweh's handmaid? It's very beautiful, yes. It is a truth. Yahweh does have a handmaid. He has a very, very beautiful handmaid. His handmaid is so beautiful. She is awesome. Bring her out this evening. In the book of Exodus, the 23rd chapter, it reads, excuse me, I meant to say Exodus 21. Let's start at verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. Please note, most of our people do not like the judgments that Yahweh set before them. Because come to find out, his judgments come with way too much humility. His judgments come with a recipe that will make you think outside of yourself in such a way that the normal mind can't even fathom it. Yahweh's judgments are so righteous, it's unbelievable until Yahweh give you the spirit to really understand how beautiful it is, how righteous it is to live the way Yahweh. And it should be easy to live outside yourself when you live for Yahweh, when everything about you is about the Almighty. And so you're not brokenhearted because you can't get your way today, because it's really about Yah's way today. You're not upset that you couldn't get that man or that woman or that house or, no, at the end of the day, let Yah's will be done. And this is why this man said, I'm your servant. And if I'm your servant, I'm just concerned about pleasing you. And not only your servant, I'm the son of your handmaid. And a handmaid is one, it's a woman. A woman that has become a part in servitude. Then she might have sons, daughters. And how you think she's going to raise her sons and daughters? She's going to raise them by being an example to them on how to be how she is. But look what it says. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve. And in the 7th year, he shall go out free for nothing. He came in by himself, and he shall. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master has given him, which means the master took one of his handmaids, a woman that is in his household, serving in a part of his house and working and dealing in the everyday dealings of the house or whatever it is, he gave one. If his master has given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. And so, yes, at the end of the day, the son must tell us, Dad, you came in by yourself, and when you leave, you shall leave by yourself. I belong to my master. And it's the same with Yahweh. Dad, Yahweh brought you into this world, and you came in this world without nothing. And when you go, you can't take me with you. You're going to leave the way you came. But if you want to stay in the place of the Almighty. But look what it says. If his master has given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, my children, I will not go out free. I don't want to go. I don't want to leave the Almighty. I don't want to leave my master. And the only way a man would be in this place and state of mind is if his master is some kind of righteous man, where he can live in peace. Look what it says. Then unto the judges, he shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Hallelujah. And so, why did I take you to this scripture? Because the handmaid, see, a servant will leave his master after 6 years. But the son of the handmaid, they're with the master forever. And this is what this man, your handmaid. So what he's telling Yahweh, that I would never leave your side. I would never stop serving you. I'm always going to be up under you, serving happily. I don't want to be but with you. But my dad, he might want to leave. My mom, she might want to go. You might let him go. But I will never leave you, y'all. Yahweh said a mother can forget her suckling child. Even a father can stand against the blood of his own son. So at the end of the day, all we have is our master, which is Yahweh. That's all we have. He's the one that we can count on. There's a friend that even stick closer than others is no good. But sometimes your friends ain't either. But Yahweh's handmaid. This son of a handmaid is what we're looking at. He was obviously shining a light that his mother is a handmaid. He came up under his mother. He was raised a certain way. Look what it says in the book of 2 Kings. I'm going to show you just a couple random scriptures about the handmaid, and then you're going to get a clear vision on Yahweh's handmaid. And 2 Kings, the 4th chapter. And I'm not going to toy with you and play around with you. I'm going to show you Yahweh's handmaid. But if you love the word of the Almighty, let's go here a little and there a little, precept upon precept, and look at these testimonies so Yahweh can show you through the volume of the book his understanding, his inspiration. Look what it says in 2 Kings, the 4th chapter. It says in the first verse, now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, thy servant, my husband, is dead, and thou knowest that thy servant did fear Yah. And a creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to become bondmen. So the creditor is coming to take her sons. He said, listen, you know my husband did fear Yah. And so ask yourself, one thing you want to know, Yah's handmaid, if she's Yahweh's handmaid, this woman definitely feared the Almighty. She feared Yah. Otherwise, you couldn't be Yah's handmaid. But look what it says further. Elisha said unto her, what shall I do for thee? Tell me. What else? And she said, has not anything in the house, save a pot of oil. And I paid attention with this woman that pleaded for her husband that feared Yah. She knew what the fear of Yahweh looked like only because she fears Yahweh herself. You don't know somebody that feared Yah unless you fear Yah. This woman feared the Almighty. And this is why Elisha, and he knows her, and said, what shall I do for you? And see, when you fear the Almighty, these kind of miracles will happen for you. And Elisha sent her with this pot. You'll read the story on your own. But it was a miracle. 1 pot of oil and then a bunch of empty pots of oil. And she was blessed to take one pot and just pour it out into this pot, pour it out into this pot, and pour it out into this pot. And she filled all the pots up with oil from one little pot. And they gathered all these pots from the city. Go over there and see if we can borrow a couple pots. Go over here and borrow a couple pots. Now she just got a house loaded up with oil. Now she can go sell the oil and pay off the creditor. And then she got enough oil to even have some left over for herself. But the language that I noticed with this woman is that she spoke of herself. She says, let thine handmaid. This is the language. And I noticed a consistency. Even skip down in the same chapter. Let me show you this. The 8th verse. This is dealing with, now this handmaid right here, she said thy handmaid. It's obvious. If you don't, when you know the fear of Yah, you can see the fear of Yah. Her husband did fear Yah. This is why she said, you know my husband that he feared Yah. And Elisha is a man of Elohim. He's a man that fears Yah. So he didn't dispute it because he knows it's the truth. And he said, man, what should I do for you then? Because I know you're a woman too. You fear Yah. So we dealing with a handmaid right here that fears the Almighty Yah. Now let's go down further to the 8th verse, and we about to show you a whole nother different woman. And it fell on that Elisha passed to Shunem, where was a great woman. She was a great woman. And she constrained him to eat bread, and so it was, that as oft as he passed by, he turned in thither to eat bread. And husband, behold, now I perceive, holy man of Elohim. Why she perceived that? She only perceived it because she got a spirit on herself. That's why she's a great woman. And that's why she's considerate. This man passing by, giving him bread. Look, let's keep reading this. I perceive that this which passes by us continually. Let us make a little chamber, I pray thee, on the wall, and let us set for him there a bed and a table and a stool and a candlestick to us, that he shall turn in thither. Wow, that's very considerate. That's very nice. That's very, very gracious. And it fell on a day that he came thither, and he turned into the chamber and lay there. And he said to Gehazi, his servant, call this Shunammite. And when he had called her, she stood before him. And he said unto him, say now unto her, behold, thou hast been careful for us. You've been careful for us. Careful, which means she's full of care. Full of care for us. With all this care, what is to be done for thee? And this is what the Elisha, the prophet, this is what he asked people going by the way. People that he's seen that fear the Almighty. What should be done for you? Like he blessed this woman with the pots of oil. She only had one little measly pot of oil. Next thing you know, she got a house full of pots of oil. But he asked this woman, what should be done for you for all this care? And see, and before I even go into this, I want you to see what she says. Well, before we go down, let me tell you this. This woman was full of care. You can tell when a woman is full of care. You can tell when a man, anyone is full of care. And they show care. And you can tell when somebody don't care. They tell their heart. Like Yahweh say, sit down, lay down, and commune with your heart. And a lot of times, we commune with our hearts and tell ourselves, I don't care. I don't even care. That's one of the worst things to tell yourself, I don't care. You should care. Man, it don't matter. It don't even matter. No, everything matters. Everything matters. And you can tell women and men that don't care, because they're not going to show care. They're not going to be considerate. They're not going to sit down on their bed and their stools and sit and think about caring. This woman didn't have to sit around and think about this man that's walking by the way. She could have been thinking about a whole lot of other things. And she wasn't thinking about caring for this man to get with him. She already has a husband. She was just she's a careful, caring woman. And she perceived that he was a man of Elohim. And so therefore she wanted to even show more care. But I want you to see something about this woman, just like the woman that we just read with the pots of oil. She called herself, when she spoke of herself in the third person, thine handmaid. Look what it says. Let's read 14 again. And he said, what then is to be done for her? Gehazi answered, verily, she has no child, and her husband is old. And he said, call her. And when he had called her, he stood in the door, and he said, about this season, according to the time of life, thou shalt embrace a son. My goodness. At the season that Elisha had said unto her, according to the time of life, which means a full circle, 1 whole year. Time of life is a full circle. So at the time I'm telling you this same time, you're going to have you a son. And look what it says. '16th verse. And he said, about this season, according to the time of life, thou shalt embrace a son. And she said, nay, my master, thou man of Elohim, do not lie unto thy handmaid. Don't lie to your handmaid. And yes, I'm your handmaid. I come in the door. I understand that before we talk, it's some kind of understanding in these women, in these scriptures. It's a consistent theme. Speaking of themselves in the third person, thine handmaid. Don't lie to your handmaid. And the woman conceived and bare a son at that season that Elisha had said unto her according to the time of life. And when the child was grown, it fell on the day that he went out to his father, to the reapers. And he said unto his father, my head, my head. And he said to a lad, carry him to his mother. And when he had taken him, he brought him to his mother and till the noon, and then died. And she went up and laid him and shut the door upon him and went out. And she called unto her husband and said, send me, I pray thee, one of the young men and one of the asses, that I may run to the man of Elohim and come again. He said, wherefore wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new month nor Sabbath. And she said, it shall be well. She was wise. She didn't want to get into it. She wanted to get straight to business. Then she saddled an ass and said to her servant, drive, go forward, slack not thy riding for me, except I bid thee. So she went and came unto the man of Elohim to the Mount Carmel. And it came to pass when the man of Elohim, behold, yonder is that Shunammite. Run now, I pray thee, to meet her, and say unto her, is it well with thee? Is it well with thy husband? Is it well with the child? And she answered, it is well. Because she didn't even want to talk to Gehazi. And when she came to the man of Elohim, to the hill, she caught him by the feet. But Gehazi came near to thrust her away. And the man of Elohim said, let her alone. Her soul is vexed within her. Then she said, did I desire a son of my master? Did I desire that? Did I even ask you for that? Did not I say, do? And long story short, Yahweh allowed his servant to bring her child back to life. And this child, without even reading the story, lived. Even reading the story, lived. How do I know this child lived? Because Yahweh is not going to bring this child back just to die the next day. This is not the ways of Yah. He established his life. He brought him back. I would even go as far to say he outlived his own mother. Because if he didn't, she would have been, did not I tell you, don't deceive me? Here it is, I'm outliving my son. No, this son lived. He was blessed. Because this handmaid, she was careful. She feared the Almighty. And these handmaids, they learn from Yah's handmaid. Let's look further. Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel. First Samuel, let's start at verse 5. It says, but unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but Yahweh had shut up her womb. And her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because Yahweh had shut up her womb. So she didn't even have supporters around her. She just, womb shut up, and nobody's caring for her and treating her and sympathy and compassion. She was just tempted every day. And as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of Yahweh, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Then said Elkanah, her husband, to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am not I better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of Yah. And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto Yahweh and wept so vowed a vow and said, O Yah of hosts, if thou will indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, a man child, then I will give him unto Yahweh all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. Thy handmaid. And when you look up this handmaid, it means, is defined with the words, a woman servant that's a part of a household. Not just a servant, but one that is a part of a household. She's a handmaid. She's an extra hand in the household. She's a part of the family. And so this is her spirit, this is her mind, and this word maid comes from this word aid, to give aid, to help. No wonder hand is in the front of handmaid, because how can you help without your hands? But this is the spirit, this is the language. This is what the son of your handmaid. He has a handmaid. And there is only one kind of handmaid in these scriptures, and that's women that were a part of a household and they show forth care. They show forth, they was careful. Like the great woman that was blessed by Elisha. See, once people say, well, women might say, I don't want to be a handmaid. I want to be a queen. Well, we will deal with that. We will show you how you can be a queen. But the mind state of that's the worst mind state that a woman can have. That's like a horse saying, I don't want to be a horse. So you're going to spit on the Almighty and tell the Almighty you don't want to be what he. Who in a right mind, they righteous mind, is going to tell Yahweh, I don't want you to be what you made me to be. And so, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. Almighty, that's like the sun saying, no, I'm not rising in the east. I'd rather be the moon. And the moon rather be the sun, and everybody's just rebelling against the Almighty. You know what the scriptures call rebelling against Yah? Rebelness, rebellion is called transgression. That's a rebelness, rebellion is called transgression. That's a transgressing mind because it's a rebellious mind. No wonder the Almighty said this, you have children that come out the womb as transgressors. Because yes, you can even see rebellion in babies. Don't want to do what you tell them to do. Even when it's for their own good. But this handmaid, she knows she's a handmaid. This is her spirit. This is her mind. And where does she get this spirit and mind from? And why is this spirit throughout all these women? And I'm going to show you some other women. They might not have the spirit, but let's keep reading this. Then I will give him unto Yah all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. The 12th verse. It came to pass, as she continued praying before Yah, that Eli marked her mouth. He marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken. And Eli said unto her, how long wilt thou be drunken? Hannah answered and said, no, of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before Yahweh. Count not thine handmaid. No matter these women, no matter what man they was talking to, no matter what kind of master they was talking, they always refer to themselves as handmaids. Where did the spirit come from? Where does language come from? Look what it says. Belial, I'm not no daughter of Belial. I'm a daughter of Yah. This is why I got this language. I'm Yah's handmaid. For a abundance of my complaint, I spoken hitherto. Then Eli answered and said, go in peace. And the Elohim of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked of him. And she said, let thy handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. You know why? Because she's a handmaid of the Almighty. She is a daughter of the Almighty. And when she heard the word, she believed in the Almighty. And you're not righteous unless you believe in Yah. It's one of the keys of righteousness. You can't be to hear was that. And she knew it was on the floor. She knew it was going down, and she took that to the bank. Because why? She believes in Yah. Because she know the Almighty. She fears the Almighty. Go to her husband crying about nothing. She went to Yahweh crying. She didn't cry. No, he had favor in this woman. That's why it told you in the verse, he gave her a worthy portion. Because when somebody is in your good graces, man, you just impelled to give them worthy portions. You impelled to, because of the spirit of the spirit of the servant in them. But she still was sorrowful because Yahweh hadn't yet give her a worthy portion that she wanted, and that she knew only Yah can give her. And so let's keep reading. What you're going to see about this handmaid. She said, let thy handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. They rose up in the morning early and worshiped before Yahweh, and returned and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and Yahweh remembered her, all upon him. Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son and called his name Samuel, saying, because I asked him of Yah. And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto Yahweh the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah went not up. For she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, and then I will bring him, that he may appear before Yahweh and there abide forever. This is what you call the fear of Yah, because the true spirit of Yahweh's handmaid, because Yahweh has one. He has a handmaid, and the spirit of his handmaid is upon his daughters. And they carry the spirit. This is why they call themselves a handmaid. And when you have this spirit upon you, before I go there, I don't want to spoil you all the surprises for you too early. But look what it says. 23rd verse, and Elkanah her husband said unto her, do what seemeth thee good. Tarry until thou have weaned him. Only Yahweh established his word. So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him. And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, and 3 bullocks, 1 ephah of flour, and a bottle of wine, and brought him into the house of Yahweh in Shiloh. And the child was young, and they child to Eli. And she said, O my master, as thy soul liveth, my master, that stood by thee there. I'm your master. No, she said, my master. Why she say it? Because she know I'm thy handmaid. And he said, I am the woman that stood by thee there, praying unto Yahweh. For this child I prayed, and Yahweh has given me my petition which I asked of him. Therefore also I have lent him to Yah. As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to Yahweh, and he shall worship Yahweh there. Ain't that beautiful? A woman of her word, a true handmaid, a true woman that fears the Almighty, that will release her child, that she was sore wept for, and now she's 20 years old. He's still a young lad. And she got to let him go. But she, just look how beautiful this is. The 2nd chapter, verse 1 says, and Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoices in Yah. Because when you a handmaid and it's all about the Almighty, you a servant and it's all about Yah, it's okay to let your son go when you know they with him. Look what it says. Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoices in Yahweh. My mouth is enlarged over my enemies, because I rejoice in thy salvation. There is none beside thee, neither is there any rock like our Elohim. They laughed at me, they scorned me, they shamed me because I didn't have no son. Sons. And all I have is one son, and I'm giving him to Yah. And now my one son is serving the Almighty in his temple. And where your sons at? It don't matter where they at. I ain't even thinking about that, because I got me a son in the temple of Yah. I ain't even thinking about that, because I got me a son in the temple of Yah. Serving Yah. Talk no more exceedingly proudly. Let not arrogancy come out, for Yahweh is a Elohim of knowledge. It's R. Wade. And why do she know this mouth? Because she's a woman that fears the truth. She got the spirit of Yah's handmaid upon her. And see what you will notice. Let's go to the book of Genesis. The book of Genesis. And before I leave 2 Samuel, first I read everything. Okay, yes. Genesis, the 16th chapter. Let's go here. This is one of the most beautiful subjects. Yahweh's handmaid. Genesis, the 16th chapter. Look what it says. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children. And she had a handmaid. She had her own handmaid. And there's two kind of handmaids you're going to see in the scriptures, but the consistent theme with handmaids is that they are women servants that serve in a house. They are part of the household. And so Sarah, she had a handmaid, one that was under her, extra hands for her. No matter if it was cooking, no matter if it was cleaning, no matter if it was helping with children, no matter the gardening, she was extra hands for Sarah. This is Sarah's handmaid. It says Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children. And she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. Said unto Abram, behold, now Yahweh has restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go into my maid, the one that helps me, my aid. She aids me, she helps me, my extra hand. I want you to go in unto her. It may be that I may obtain children by her. Yes, because why? She belongs unto Sarah. Yes, she owns you. She's your master. And when you know the laws, as we read, yes, she belongs to her. And once somebody said, my God, this is devious, this is grievous. She's her property? Yes, she was. And when you know and understand the ways of the Almighty, there's nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with it. This woman can be nothing. Somewhere stranded. But she's a part of one of the most blessed houses that exists in the earth at the time. Matter of fact, not one, it was the exclusive, one and only most blessed house in the world. And she got to be in that house. I don't care if you was a doorman at that house. I don't take the trash to the pigs. To be in that house, to be upon a Sarah, the handmaid of Yahweh, the daughter of Yahweh that feared Yah, the mother of many nations. This was a out of sight, blessed, most blessed position to be her handmaid. Look what it says. Go into her. And now I'm like, my goodness, you gonna just force me to have a son? No, ain't no forcing. This is a blessing. This is Abraham. You get to be with my husband, the father of many nations. You get to bear a holy seed. Look what it says. That I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian. After Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan and gave her to her husband, Abram to be his wife, And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And what is a mistress? A mistress is a woman master. And now your master, which is Sarah, she's despised in your eyes. Which means what? Hagar despises her. She no longer wants her to be her master no more. But at one point in time, you the handmaid. You loved your master. Why? Because she fed you. She gave you style. You had nothing. She took you in. You've been blessed with her. But now that you have been given this opportunity, now you despise her? After she give you this opportunity, why you despise her? Because you know the child is not supposed to be yours. You know that child ain't supposed to be yours. So now she despises her mistress. And this word despise, it means to be light, to take lightly, to be sharp. You see somebody in the morning, it used to be, hey, shalom, praise the mighty Yah. But now it's shalom. Sharp. Oh, wait. So fast, you ain't even trying to talk to me for real. You ain't even trying to deal. Ain't no care no more in you. Where's the spirit of the handmaid that used to be upon you? Oh, it's light now. I don't mean nothing to you now. I'm light in your eyes now. Because you can have a son. You got a son now. But it's supposed to be my son. It should have been an honor for you to do that for me. Seeing I've been went all this time without a son. It should have been an honor for you to bless me with that. Seeing how I've blessed you. But no, obviously, let me show you something about. The 5th verse says, Sarah said unto Abram, my Andi, I've given my. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. Yahweh judged between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is in your hands. Do to her as it pleases thee. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she dealt hardly with her. Yeah, because why? She's being hard. When I meet you, I see that you despise me. Because you've been hard with me. You're not being soft with me. You're not being kind with me. I gave you to my husband. And now here it is. You acting like you're not even my handmaid no more. This is grievous. This is disrespectful how you treated me now. And what happened? Since she dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. She fled from her face. She left. She dipped on her. Took the child. And watch this. Found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid. Because that's who you are. You're Sarah's maid. You ain't nobody. If you want to be anybody, you Sarah's maid. Miss thou, and where you think you going? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress, Sarah. Angel of Yahweh said unto her, return to your mistress and submit yourself under her hands. Because this is how a handmaid is supposed to be. You're supposed to submit yourself up under the hands of your mistress. Show your submissiveness. And look what it says. And the angel of Yah said unto her, I will multiply your seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for a multitude. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because Yahweh has heard thy affliction, and he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And then the 15th verse, and Hagar bare Abraham a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare Ishmael. And so she went back. And long story short, eventually Sarai got rid of her. But she's a merciful woman. She's a handmaid herself. She took her back in. But she ended up getting rid of her. Why? Because the son of this handmaid didn't have a good spirit, just like this handmaid didn't. And that's why when the brother said, I'm your servant, even the son of your handmaid, that's a whole different kind of spirit. A whole different one. Let me show you this right here in the book of Genesis, the 38th chapter. This is, before you read Genesis 38, look what it says in Proverbs, the 30th chapter, verse 23. This is why Sarai at the time, our mother Sarah, this was wrong. And this is why she waited so long to even make the decision. But she finally bit the bullet and did it. And what happened? Verse the 30th chapter. It says, and for 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 which it cannot bear. The earth can't even bear these things. For a servant, Saul, you don't have no business reigning. You don't have no business on that throne. And a fool, when he is filled with meat, just look at him, just sitting there laughing and prancing around loud, meat still in his teeth. For an odious woman, when she is married, a hateful woman, hateful personally, when she's married, no matter how righteous the man is, he's going to have a rough go around because this woman is hateful. No matter how much he love her, she's always going to bring a bad spirit to the house because she's hating this person. She got a personal thing with this person, a personal thing with that person, a personal thing with this person. He's like, my goodness, baby, we blessed up in this house. Bump them. Stop bringing that in this house. But she's odious. She's hateful personally. She always got personal issues because she takes things personal. She don't realize that everything is about her relationship with the Almighty. And when she goes out and about and deal with this person, proving yourself into the Almighty, everything is a test. She don't understand that. She think this is all about these personal things. Ain't nothing personal. This is about you and the Almighty Yah. And if you a handmaid of Yah, you learn how to, man, I'm just humbling myself at the end of the day. I'm going to seek Yah. But look what it says. An odious woman when she is married, and a handmaid that is heir to her mistress. A handmaid that is, so a handmaid is the one under the mistress, the woman master. But now she becomes heir to her mistress, means what? Now you a wife of my husband. So you his wife just like I'm his wife. So you have a place now with my husband versus your place was just up under me. But now you got a place as a wife. But a lot of times, and Sarah and Hagar was one of the prime examples of just a handmaid becoming heir to her mistress. The earth said, this is terrible. Now, I want Genesis, the 38th chapter. He said, Melly, is it true that Hagar's baby actually would have been and should have been named and looked at as Sarah, as Sarah's? Yes. She's the master. She wouldn't have had that baby if it wasn't for Sarah. For Sarah. She wouldn't have had that baby. This was all her investment. This was all her workings. This is what she did. And you were my handmaid, and you was humble enough to put yourself in that place for me. For my husband and the seed that belongs to me. This is my husband. And I've given him to you. Without me, no. He only did this through my blessing and my counsel. He hearkened to me. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had none of you. But in Genesis, the 38th chapter, look what it says. In the 6th verse, it says, Yehudah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Yehudah's firstborn was wicked in the sight of Yah, and Yahweh slew him. And Yehudah said unto Onan, which is brother, go in unto thy brother's wife, marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan not be his. Yes. A woman can bear a child that's not hers. A man can give up seed from his own body that is not going to be his. Because at the end of the day, what is what Yahweh say it is. I don't care if it came from your bowels. I don't care if it came from your womb. It is what I say it is. I don't care if he was born the 7th. I said if he was born the 8th. I said he's the first. That's why when you look at the 12 tribes of Israel, people don't know the order from 1 to 12. The only way you're going to know the true order of the tribes of Israel if you know the secrets of the Almighty. And yes, all his truths are secrets. He must reveal his secrets unto you. This is why. And so look, let's keep reading it. Yeah, in the 9th verse, Onan knew that the seed should not be he passed when he went in unto his brother's wife in the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did, wherefore he slew him also. Slew him. It was wicked what he did. Wherefore he slew him also. Slew him. It was wicked what he did. It was foul. And so, and what do this? Where do we get this from? You will find it in the book of Deuteronomy, the 25th chapter. Just as we read in Exodus, the 21st chapter, if a servant come in by himself and the master gives unto him one of his handmaids, the handmaid belongs to the master. And now that belongs to the master. You want to have these for my handmaid. And it's my food and my home that they're eating and living in. And so when you leave, you must leave by yourself. And ain't no telling why you leaving. Maybe you want to leave. Well, go leave. Do the scriptures say, well, they can't work something out? They can work something out. They can do whatever they want to do. Print is that they belong to the master. And once we have that, that gives us order. And now we can work around this thing. Let's see what we can work out then. But if now it's like, man, what's going on here? Wait, now these my kids. This is my woman. Yahweh eliminated all that foolishness. No, this is his handmaid. His children, if he didn't give you this handmaid. Period. These belong unto him. Now what are you going to do? The only thing a righteous man going to do is just humble himself. Well, I'm going to leave because I can't stay here no more. Well, go get yourself together. Maybe he go work and come back and try to buy his wife and children. Do it say that he can't visit? No, don't say that. But if you want to leave, he can leave. But if you just want to think you just going to leave and take him, like, no, that ain't how it works. This man has been investing in this woman. Obviously, she's been there. She's been blessed. She's been fruitful. She's taken care of. And you came in with nothing. What makes you think you about to just leave with this man's investment? The years he's been putting into this woman. And now the children and yourself. Look what it says in Deuteronomy, the 25th chapter. The 5th verse, it says, if brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead husband's brother shall go in unto her wife and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. This is what they were doing with Onan and keeping the law. And it shall be that the firstborn which he beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And see, when Yahweh do this, when Yahweh put a name and establish, it's going to come with a spirit. And so now this seed is not going to, he's not going to have the spirit of the man that the loins he came out of. He's going to have the spirit of the man whose name is upon him through the blessing of Yah. So he's not going to be this man's son. He's going to be the son of the dead brother. And he's going to live on his name in this earth. You see how righteous Yahweh is? You see how beautiful he is? How balanced he is? How perfect he is? And if we are just servants and handmaids, we go right along with his flow, with his way. We are not his creator. He is ours. It's not him that, it's us that must understand him. We think, man, this ain't no sound. You don't know what sound is. You got people out here that listen to stuff that just can't believe they let that kind of stuff in their ears. Let alone what you let in your ears. So you don't know what's not nothing unless Yahweh tell you what's good. So we're running out of time, but we're not done. What I'm going to do, because there's more heavy knowledge to this, I'm going to close out here in the book of Proverbs, the 31st chapter. And it's going to continue to get even heavier, and it's going to continue to be beautiful, because we have not yet shown you handmaid. But I want to show you these handmaids who are inspired by Yah's handmaid. Proverbs. Where is it? The 31st chapter. So you will see two kind of handmaids in the scriptures. You will see one that fears Yahweh, and you will see one that doesn't. Hagar was a handmaid that didn't fear Yah. This is why she was quick and ready to depart from the most blessed woman on earth. A woman that fears Yah. Why would you want to depart from her? Why would you want to depart from anybody that fears the Almighty, that's blessed by the Almighty? It's only because you don't fear the Almighty yourself. But then you have the woman, the handmaid that fears the Almighty. And look what it says with these handmaids that was, and best believe it, Hagar was very useful. She was very virtuous. She was the handmaid of Sarah. She knew how to cook, clean, do all kind of things. And Sarah wouldn't have had her up under her like that. But she was up under her for years, and then she was so good of a handmaid and her virtues that she even took her back in, despite back in dishonor and disregard, took her back in. Because she's very virtuous, getting it done. But look at this. The 29th verse of Proverbs 31 says, many daughters have done virtuously. Many daughters. And all the daughters that I read in the scriptures, most of them, if not all of them, always refer to themselves as handmaids. This was the spirit of the women doing not all of them, always refer to themselves as handmaids. This was the spirit of the women during the old days. This spirit lost today. Is this spirit still upon the daughters today? Well, ask yourself, do they call themselves handmaids? Do they speak of themselves in the third person as handmaids? All these women did. Many daughters have done virtuously, because they all handmaids. Them all. It's one of these handmaids that just excels them all. Favor is deceitful. Beauty is vain. You all are favoring the world. Doing all the virtuous things in the world. Beautiful as all get out. But a woman that fears Yahweh, give her of the fruit of her hands. Because she's virtuous. She working. She getting it done. She always helping and aiding. Let her own works praise her in the gates. So the question is, are you a handmaid that fears Yahweh? Because there's many daughters that's done virtuously. That's all the daughters, that's how they were back in the days. Virtuous. Ready to do what they know they was created to do. They was raised to be handmaids. So it just wasn't a thing. This is what I am. I'm raised to just be a part of the house and getting it done. Cooking, cleaning, gardening, hustling, whatever it is, this is what I was raised to do. To help, to aid, to maid, to be extra hands wherever it's needed. But there is one that fears the Almighty Yah. And so we have not yet fully shined and shown you Yahweh's handmaid. For this brother said, I'm your servant, even the son of your handmaid. So yes, Yahweh has a handmaid. And you best to believe Yahweh handmaid fears him. Like the scripture says in the book of Malachi, Yahweh says, if I be a master, where's my fear? If I be a father, then where is my honor? And yes, Yahweh's handmaid fears him. Because the word fear just means to reverence, to hold in high esteem, to not take lightly, like Hagar began to do with Sarah. Start taking her lightly, like she's nothing, when she should have been holding her in high honor, high esteem, high regard, not disregard. Being sharp. That's what the word, you look at the word despise, to be sharp and quick and swift. Like you ain't. But a true handmaid always sticking around, because they always know it's a reason to give a hand. Tomorrow, I'm going to bring you part 2 of Yahweh's handmaid. Until then, I praise the mighty Yahweh for this opportunity. Yahweh loves you, and so do I. Shalom, shalom.
Yeah. For 100 centuries. Yeah. Let's go. Take a look at my soul. Nothing left but these hoes. They tried to take me down, but Yah is in control. So now I ask you, you suddenly black too? The oppressor ain't fair when he attacked you. Started wars cause they tried to tax you. You should be asking who they was taxing, not what prices on our backs. And the IRS wanted in on the back end. Lincoln was never down for emancipation, just good political relations to try to make a good case for the next election. Yet Jim Crow came right back in the field, certified with a government seal. Crowley just real, they gave us them fake moves and education to keep us concealed.
Take a look at my soul. All I wanna do is go. There's nothing left of me of this horrid slavery. For hundred centuries, there's nothing left for you to hold. All I want to free.
Come on. For 100 centuries of this horrid slavery. But Yah, he is the king, and he will save me. So now I ask you, will you drop to your knees and beg Yah, please? Don't you know that Yah is coming? It's like tomorrow. I can't even tell you the time on your Audemars. Just guard your heart, baby Paul, baby doll, don't cry. Paparazzi never cared about them tears, no way. Just fear my Yah all day. Rest in him, just like the song say. I'm waiting for the day that he sit on the throne. Till then I'm stuck in my zone, staying focused on the day when he finally take us home. Till then I'm prophesying to the dry bones, till that day that I'm gone and Yah reveal what he has shown. That Yahweh is Elohim, is him and none alone.
Take a look at my soul. All I wanna do is go. There's nothing left of me of this horrid slavery. For hundred centuries, nothing left for you to. All I want to be is with my Yah and live free. All I want to be is with my Yah and live free. All I want to be is with my Yah and live free. All I want to be is with my Yah and live free. All I want to be is with my Yah and live free. Live free. Yeah. Take a look at my soul. All I wanna do is go. There's nothing left of me of this horrid slavery. For hundred centuries.